Hi, everyone. Welcome. So I'm just going to open up the side menu here so we could see where we are right now. We went through leads and now we're on projects. Now projects has basically everything that you have as a lead that got converted into a project, which is wonderful. And you could have projects that are ongoing, projects that you're just doing without having to go through a lead phase. Maybe it's somebody who you've worked with before who's now just coming in and you're doing a quick project with them. Again, you can create your project directly from that lead, or you can just go into projects here in the left-hand panel and click on create new project. Before I do that and go through this whole flow, what I do want to show you is an existing project. I have a kitchen remodel here. And the reason I want to go through this is just to jump back into the estimates for a second and show you how you can save a estimate as a template so you can easily access it for any upcoming project you have or future projects. You'll also be able to access it from creating an estimate from your mobile phone as well, which we'll go through in just a few minutes. So let's actually start with this project that I have for the kitchen remodel. I'm going to hop, first of all, I'm going to show you the homepage. So we have this brand new overview page. It was released about 2 weeks ago, and it's available for every single one of your projects. You have quick access into your documents here with the ability to actually create a new estimate, payment request, or change order. And I'm just going to put a little asterisk next to payment requests because we're actually changing payment requests to be invoices. We got a lot of feedback from you guys and from additional GCs as well. And we realized that we need to have invoices in the system from the get-go. Payment requests will then soon be invoices, and we'll go through what that means for you in just a bit. But again, I have access to all my items here. Any messages that I have ongoing with my client, again, anything that came from the lead phase as well will be available here. And that just means I can quickly write a message from here. Everything Gili talked about with the messages, the templates, you have them accessible directly from your project as well. You can add attachments, add pictures, and all this other great stuff. So let me just send something really quick. And again, I'm just going to send that from here. I'll see any responses here as well. And I can always deep dive into my messages just by clicking see all. Any upcoming events, you'll see them here as well when somebody has to make a payment on something. Maybe you have a scheduled meeting. Sivan will also go through the timeline functionality that we have will all show up here. And of course, you have the ability to access your files and upload them. So upload is really easy. It's literally just a drag and drop. So I'm going to open up my Finder here, grab something and drop that in there. And I've already dropped that in there. So that was my mistake. 1 second. There we go. So you can see I can just drag and drop it in. And of course, in demos, nothing works. It's unreal. Oh, I'm not dragging it into the right place, Sivan. 1 second, let me move this out of the way. There we go. And I need to drop it into the drop zone once it's in there. Again, really easy to get that in there and get that directly into your project. And what does it mean when you have these files in your project? It means you can also share them with your client. And again, Sivan will go through all that. But you do have the ability to say whether or not you're sharing images with your client or not on the client dashboard. A couple of other things that we have here on the right side panel. First of all, it's a status. So you can set a status for your project. We have some default statuses in place. You can also add your own custom status, whatever you want that to be. And then, of course, select that. You have the address here as well. You have the ability to edit the project, edit the client information. And we also have that great Zillow integration you saw on the lead directly in the project. So access to all the information about the location of your house. So now I want to hop into my estimates here. Let me move this little zoom thing out of the way. There we go. And the reason I want to go into this estimate is because there are two things I want to do here. First of all, I want to save this estimate as a template. Now I've built this, it took me a long time. This is for a 150 square foot kitchen. And I know that I have a lot of these types of projects that are ongoing. And again, a lot of you talked about how people want their estimates yesterday. Having a set of estimates that you have built yourself, that you understand every element in there, and saving them as a template means you can get those estimates out relatively quickly. Of course, everything needs fine tuning. Every build is different, but it does give you a great baseline to start with. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on options here, and I'm going to click on save as template and give this a name. So we can call it 150 square feet kitchen and click save. And in a minute, I'm going to create a new project, and you'll see how easy it is to actually create an estimate and send it out to the client. A couple of other things that you see up here in the estimates that Gili didn't go through. If you've already spoken to your client and you don't want to send this out to them, but they have approved it, you can just click approve or decline. You can duplicate and edit. So if there are changes that they want to be made on the estimate, you want to give them a V2. You don't have to create everything from scratch again, just duplicate and edit the estimate, and you can go from there. We just went through save as template, export as PDF, and of course a preview and share. And Gili did go through this, but I do want to show you what this actually looks like through the customer's lens or your client's lens. So again, you have all these great options up here. Heard you will do one that's only showing the total of the entire estimate rather than showing any type of categorization here. And I'm going to click on require an e-signature. So I'm going to send this to myself. Let's see if I was smart enough to copy. Perfect. And you'll see that you have the ability to share this to the client dashboard as well. That's important. The client dashboard is a portal for the client to see everything. And again, Sivan will be going through that. And I'm just going to click on confirm a send. So first of all, you can see that the estimate has been sent to your client, and any changes you make will be visible to your client. The estimate is still not locked down, meaning you could be having conversations with your client and making some changes, maybe making some changes to the quantities or to the pricing or to the items that are in here. But every change that you make will be visible to your client because it's now live, you shared it with them. So I'm going to hop into my email really quickly. And let's just grab this. Perfect. So you can see the email I just received. And again, this is the email that your client will receive once you send them an estimate. You can see your logo up here. Everything is super branded. The message that you chose to put in here will be in the body. And again, you could see that it was sent from the company, even though it is a Houzz email address. The client can then click on view estimate. And they are taken into their view of the estimate. So they can see all the categorizations, everything you set up there. Again, they see your logo up here at the top. They see all the information. And now they can click on approve and sign. I'm just going to click there, do a really weird signature because I'm just that bad with signing things, and click on save. And as soon as that is approved, you could see that the client has the ability to view the signed estimate. So they can just click that. They have everything in their face. Everything is logged. So they can say that they didn't sign it and on what date they signed it. You'll see that it's badged as approved. And if I go back into your view, basically, I'm just going to refresh that screen. You can see that it's been switched to approved. And you can see this full activity stream on your right-hand side. So you see exactly when it was created, when it was sent. You can see that the estimate was received by the client. And again, you can see that date here. It just happened right after the other. You can see when they actually click to view the estimate. So they can't tell you, I haven't seen the estimate. You know for a fact they did see it. And you can see when that estimate was approved, and of course, view that signed estimate. So all that information is always logged right here on your right-hand side. I do not know my left from my right today. On your right-hand side, really easy to actually access and see everything. And of course, you need that proof. You need to see that signature. Just click on view signed signature. Everything's right here in PDF, easy to export, easy to print out for any documentation that you need.
And one of the best practices,
yes.
one of the best practices I do want to recommend. So Helena, if you want to show again how to see that signed estimate, I would recommend always, like, you know, in working with designers in the past, a lot of people like to have hard copies of items. This is a really great practice to get into, to simply sign this, save it to your desktop. You can always access it on Houzz Pro, but just really one of the best practices that I can recommend is just having those backup copies, having even a printed copy if you prefer. Best practice.
Sivan, any other questions that popped up?
Do you have a question related to basically moving stuff around? And I said change orders that you'll get into. So, but actually, oh, and Glenn also asked about populating materials in time specifically for Canada. Glenn, at this time, these prices are in US dollars. The information that we have is related to US dollars. I don't know if we will have that information.
We are working on getting international databases in place. So yes, we will eventually have Canada, guys. We are working on it.
Awesome.
Relevant templates for country, relevant pricing for country is something that is on our roadmap. I don't have an ETA for that yet, but it's definitely in our.
Cool. That's awesome. And then Matt is asking, is project managed just for estimates? What about scheduling, change orders, invoicing? We are getting to that in just a moment.
Right now, just in a
Stay
second.
tuned. And then Heidi is asking about signature lines. She said, can we add a space for an initial stating that they received our terms and conditions? At this time, we do only have that one e-signature line. And what I would even recommend doing is in the memo, if you want to scroll down, Helena.
Actually, I totally failed to mention terms and conditions, which we have here, and I'll actually show that in the payment request because it's very important.
Yes.
So we do have the ability to set terms and conditions here, and you can even write signing on this estimate means that you approve the terms and conditions listed here.
Exactly. So that was what I was going to say. We have a memo section. We have a terms and conditions section on the estimate. And I would once again reiterate what Helena just said is by signing this or by submitting your e-signature, you are agreeing to our terms and conditions. Then there is that e-signature. And of course, if you do want that extra initial, that's where I would recommend either printing it, downloading it, bringing it to your meeting, and having the pro or having your client sign it again in that place in as many places as you want a signature. But that's what our recommendation would be.
Having said that, we are definitely planning on having a bit more functionality when it comes to e-signatures. We know how important it is. We know how important it is to get their initials in places. And that is something that we're working on. We're also working on the ability to upload your contracts and get signatures directly through the system as well, with initials in there. So all things that are in the plans for next year. All right, so let's continue onwards here. Okay, so my estimate has been approved by my client, which is wonderful. And now there are a couple of things that I could do here. First of all, I could see that everything's approved, and that's always fun. I can also go back into my project here, and what you're actually going to see is in the estimates tab. You could see that the budget was 20,000, not a relevant budget. We can see that I'm currently over budget. I can actually fix that and edit the budget as well. And the reason it's saying 60 over is because you can see that I have two estimates here. One of them is in draft, and I can go ahead into this estimate because it could have been something that I was working on before I made some changes. And I can go ahead and decline that. You can also completely delete it if you want to, but declining it does remove it from any calculations that you have there. And of course, we do support multiple everything, so multiple estimates is in that as well. So it's still showing incorrect number, disregard that. In the demo, nothing actually works. You can also see that the breakdown here, and let me actually, there we go. Okay, now it's showing the right numbers. So you can see that I clicked on the gear here, and then I can see what status is to include if I'm only including approved or removing decline from this list. Then I can see my total estimated cost, what my material and labor breakdown is, and of course I can see what my budget is and go from there. If you don't set your budget when you create your project, you can always edit it from here. So let's say I spoke to my client and made them understand that life is not that cheap. They can go ahead and change their budget from there. And look at that, I'm 3,000 under budget, which is wonderful. All right, so now that we have our approved estimate, we know that we're in budget after speaking to the client and having them approve everything. What I want to do is actually start getting payments. Now, I know that a lot of you actually get a deposit on an estimate. That is something that we're working on. We're also working on retainers. So you'll be able to actually collect a retainer in your project as well. Those are things that are coming later on this fall. So definitely keep that in mind. What we do offer is the ability to create payment requests, or soon to be known as invoices. And you can actually invoice progressively in the tool. The way you would do that is just click on a section or click on the relevant line items within the estimate. And click on create payment request, soon to be called create change order. Create invoice. You can also select everything. If you click on proceed to payment here, you're going to create a payment request from everything. I'm actually going to create a payment request for this entire estimate here. And what that does is that opens up a payment request. Again, I'm going to call them invoices from now on to actually remove confusion from this. The invoice will get its invoice number. You'll see the full list of things from your estimate here. And you can also make any changes you need to. We do not recommend making changes on payment requests. This should be directly off of what the approved estimate was. We do have change orders, and I will go through that in just a moment. but this is editable for whatever purposes you need to here. And what I want to show you is the ability to actually request a deposit on this invoice and to build out your scheduled payments. So first of all, I'm going to click on request deposit. The amount can be by percentage or fixed amount. So let's say I want to take $10,000 or I want to take 10% upfront. So I could just do 10% here. And I can set the due date for that. So let's make that due date today, and I can click save. And you can see here that it took $4,067. That's 10% of what we had. And then I can set up the rest of my payment. So let's say you do monthly payments or you bill by milestones or installments. You can actually do that complete breakdown here. I'm going to do it into 4 installments, so 25% each time. That's a payment name, sorry. First payment. In the amount, I can now put in either a percentage. So in this case, I want to put in 25%, or you can put in a dollar value. Now, each time I do that, you could see that it's showing me how much is left for me to break out here. So again, I'm just going to do the second payment. And just to save time, I'm going to do the rest of the payment as bulk at 75%. So you can see that I have that full breakdown. Oh, my mistake. Let me just grab that remaining amount. Why is it not working? Oh, because it's not taking that. 1 second. If you make a mistake, you can just click on delete and then just add another one, and there we go. That gives me the rest of the amount. Perfect. Now you can see that you can set your payment options. This is just to for yourself or to let your client know how to pay. We do have online payments, and I'll actually show you how to get a payment online from your client when I show you change orders in a bit. Or you can log your own payment. In this case, you can also set your payment term. So this is, let's say, net 30, and then you want your last one in net 60. You can also do custom here. So in specific dates or milestones that you want to set that on. And once you're done, you set all your payments up. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You don't have to chase after your client. We do the chasing for you once you preview and share that with them. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now.
And while you're doing that, Helena, speaking of just preview and sharing, we did have a request from Marnie, just in terms of uploaded estimates, having the ability to request an e-signature, because at this time, if you upload an estimate, there isn't the ability to request an e-signature. So there's a request that I think it could apply to many people. And
it's coming soon. It's definitely on our roadmap.
Awesome.
And it should have been there. It's a mistake that it isn't there.
Awesome. And then from Brandon, while you're also talking about scheduled payments, is can due dates for payments be changed after the breakdown is sent to a customer? He says delays happen, LOL. So
yes, they definitely do happen. And let me actually show you how you do that here. So again, the same settings. Any other questions before I continue? Sorry. So the same settings we saw in the estimate, we have that here. So show category pricing, show detailed breakdown, etc. What we don't currently have on an invoice or payment request is the ability to collect a signature. If you do think that's a feature that you would like here, that they at least receive the invoice, please just write that in the feedback, and then we will definitely add it. I've been hounding other people to do it for a while, but they keep telling me that they are not sure that's a use case. So I'd love for you guys to say that that is the case, and we'll get that up and running. You can also see everything that your client's going to see here. So again, I see the full breakdown. I see all the information. I see the terms and conditions, which, wait, let me go back and actually show you that because I should have done that before. So I'm going to actually scroll down here to the bottom, and there are a few things that I missed. And you have this on estimates, you have this on payment requests or invoices, and you will also have this on change orders. You have the ability to upload files. If you have any documentation that you need to upload into your estimate, any plans, floor plans, etc., architectural builds, whatever it happens to be, you can add that into the files. You can also do that on the invoice. You can set your terms and conditions here. Now you can either have this somewhere where you copy and paste it always, or you can just go into my templates and use a template that you've already created. Now I can totally change the text here, add a few more things, gibberish in this case. And if I click on my templates, you'll see the ability to actually create a new one. And it's taking all the information that I already have here. So we can call this updated default and click on save and add. And that means that every time I go into my templates, I can actually go ahead and choose one of my existing ones. Once I do, you can also set that as the default for this specific project. So any document that you send from this project will always have these terms and conditions as a default. Another great feature of the templates here is you could have multiple templates that actually build one giant template, and that depends on what kind of build you're doing. So you might need additional areas. This might be something over 100K, and that means that your payment structure is different, and you want to identify that in the terms and conditions. So you can actually layer one on the other here. It doesn't replace what you've already have listed in the T's and C's. The last thing here is a memo. Any other information that you want to add for your client, you could do that here, and they can actually see that as well. So again, back into preview and share. The last thing here that your client is going to see is the breakdown of the payments and when they actually need to make any individual payment. So the first one is due today, the next one in a month, and the last one in 60 days from now. They will see that as well. So let's quickly send this to myself so we can see what the client sees. Okay, so now I'm going to hop on over into my email. Let's refresh the search. And here it comes. You see, it's almost instant. Oh, I'm definitely on the wrong one. One second. Apologies. There we go. There it is. View payment request. And again, this is what the client will see. They can see the breakdown as you showed them, the terms and conditions that you added for them. If you had files, they would see them here. Same thing with the memo. And up here at the top, they're able to make their first payment. Now, each consecutive payment will open up a week before the payment due date, meaning they can make that payment a week before. We will make that editable for you in the future, so you can determine when you want to open up the ability for your client to make payments, assuming you allow online payments. In this case, I'm not going to go through the online payment flow. I'm going to do that in a staging environment, so you don't actually see my real credit card information. What I will do here, though, is log a payment as the pro, basically, as a general contractor. Now, chances are you're getting checks from your client all the time. You can easily log a payment yourself instead of having them pay online. You just go into each individual payment line item here. I'm just going to click on log payment, set the payment type, check, put in that check reference number, set the date where the check is made out to or received, and you can also send a receipt to your client right from here. Once you're done, just click save. You can see that this item has been paid, and you can also see that the balance is now 36,611, so everything gets calculated in there. Right now, this still functions as a request for payment. This is not an invoice yet, so an invoice is generated upon payment. That will change. This entire document is going to be an invoice in and of itself, and then payments are just applied to that document. That change is coming next week. About editing the payment due dates, absolutely. You could do that after it's sent to client. I'm going to click on custom here, and I can set the payment due date. So let's say that has shifted towards early November, and this one has shifted accordingly to December. And then from there, if I head back into the client view, wherever that may be, if I refresh this, they will now see. And again, this is what your client is seeing. First of all, they see that the deposit has been marked as paid, and they can see that the dates have shifted for the payment schedule. Okay, any questions around getting paid on your items, or on your project, I should say?
I think you've already addressed the questions that did come in, Helena. So the questions
Great.
about changing payment terms to due upon receipt, and as well as there are some great questions about that Brandon and Glenn are talking about T&C templates, not about how to in Houzz Pro, but rather where to get resources about other users and their terms and conditions templates to share. As Liza mentioned over here, that is a really great topic to have in the community group. We can share a link in the email that we send to the community groups where these discussions can take place. And then And then K&B Remodeling and Sons is asking, what's the interest when using payments through Houzz? I believe you might mean, what is the credit card fee? The fee is 3% for credit card payments. We will soon be launching ACH payments.
In the next 2 weeks, we will be launching ACH payments.
In the next 2 weeks, we will be launching ACH payments. At this time, it is only credit card payments. And so credit card payments have a 3% processing fee associated with it. We do integrate with Stripe. Stripe is an incredibly powerful payment processing system. So that is actually Stripe's fee that is basically going straight to them. Heidi also asked about integrating with QuickBooks. Again, to reiterate, in the coming weeks, we will be launching in beta version of our integration with QuickBooks Online. And if you are interested in being included in the beta group, let us know. We would be happy to include you. And I think those are most of the questions. Glenn, at this time, Canada does not yet have online payments set up, but also is on the roadmap for expanding internationally. Brandon, I love your business suggestion. I love all the chats that are coming through. Brandon is suggesting working that CC processing fee into your markup and listing it as a 3% discount to those paying by checks. Yes, yes, yes. Love these tips and tricks. Additionally, K&B Remodeling and Sons is asking, will it be charged on our payment or to the customer? It will be charged on your payment, so from in your payout. So I would do exactly what Brandon had suggested. Wow, so many questions now coming in. Amazing hot topics. Let's speed through these questions and answers. Marnie, are you able to integrate your payment processing Wells Fargo Business? No, we only integrate with Stripe. If you are interested in taking payments through your own payment processing system like Wells Fargo Business, you can absolutely continue to do so and simply record the payment that you received. Once again, the way that you would do that, Helena, is by logging the payment on that line item over there. You would simply click on to log payment and record the payment that had been directly deposited into your account. Lee is suggesting, in the past we were hesitant to use CC payments because people can reverse the payment. Any suggestions? Yeah, go with ACH payment. We're about to launch it in 2 weeks. Definitely hot topic amongst our design community. Credit cards are an incredible tool. You have a trustworthy client. They love you getting points, booking that trip to Aruba in post-COVID world. But I would definitely say ACH payments are going to be the way to go. They also have a more competitive rate, a little bit lower of a processing fee. Helena, do you know what that processing fee is going to be for ACH?
I believe it's 1.2.
1.2%, awesome. And just ACH are a little bit more ironclad. So definitely would recommend ACH payments. And so Tony is saying on the design side, it allows you to offset the transaction fee to the client. Is that something that we will be implementing into Build and Core, Helena?
Yes, it is. I don't have a date for that. It's definitely planned on our roadmap already, as we've said on a lot of things, but it's good that you're asking these questions that are on our roadmap. That makes me happy.
And Brian is asking, what is the timeline for these payments coming into your account? So for credit card payments, which again is the only credit card, we only allow credit card payments right now on Houzz Pro for builders. That is 3 to 5 business days, 2 to 3 business days, my apologies. Same thing for ACH payments. So when we do integrate and allow ACH payments, what's going to happen is it will be, I think it's actually going to be a 3 to 5 business day ACH payment, depending on the sum of the payment. If it's below a threshold, $200,000, it will be 2 to 3 business days. If it's above that, I think it's closer to 3 to 5 business days.
No, it's closer to 7 to 9 business days.
Okay.
The reason is that we're waiting for the full money to transfer over from their client first, to make sure that no one is trying to get away with anybody's money, basically.
Yes. And just to give you a little bit of a background about ACH payments in general, true ACH payments from one bank to another actually take 5 to 7 business days to clear. That's how long it takes the bank to say, hey, that's actually an invalid routing number. That's an invalid bank account number. So in order to expedite this, what we do at Houzz is we actually front the funds like in 2 to 3 business days. And I believe that this is the same way that it's going to work when we integrate ACH. Helena, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why we also wait for those large transactions on ACH. So we cannot front all
$500.
this money.
Yeah. So basically what we do is we front the funds, having certainty in your client, you know, like just we are assuming and hoping that they are providing all the right information. 99% of the time they do. The funds clear, it goes into your account, 2 to 3 business days, no harm, no foul. However, for those rare occasions where there is a mishap, there is insufficient funds, et cetera, those will actually remove the payment record, reverse the transfer, and your client will have to pay again. So that's why we have that 2 to 3 business day processing, when in fact ACH payments normally take 5 to 7 business days from one bank to another. So just a little bit of background there. And oh my gosh, we have so many questions. Helena, I don't want to derail you, so I'm going to try to answer the rest in the chat here. Great questions, keep them coming in, and we will proceed.
Okay, so now that we saw how payment requests work, there is one last thing that I do want to show you about with payment requests, and that's that you could create one from scratch. So you don't have to go through the estimate process like I showed you, that the estimate has to get approved first, and then you can actually transfer items from there. That's just to make your life substantially easier. If you are collecting money upfront for whatever reason, if the estimation process is something that you charge for, which honestly you should, because it takes you days, and I really think that you should get your money for the work that you're doing there. You could just create a new invoice basically from scratch directly from this tab in the projects. And then you can add items just like you could into your invoice, into your estimate, either from the parts list. You can create a new one. We also have this quick add here, which is nice and cute. You can just search for something. So I just want to get a upfront, let's call it estimation fee. You can see I don't actually have this item in my library, which is great. I can just click on create new, quickly put in the category here if I want to. It's required. So let's actually do that under services, put in the pricing for that, the unit cost, etc. And it's just that easy to actually create your own custom part here that you could use just to charge for the estimation process that you're doing. Again, you don't have to go through that estimate. All right, I want to move over into change orders. And again, to show you change orders, I'm actually going to switch over into a different account so I can show you how online payment works. That's not to say that the change orders doesn't exist already in your tool. It should. Under your project, you will see change orders here. I'm just going to hop into a different account here. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to have a project here for a deck build for one of my clients. I did not follow Gilly's rule for putting last name first, so this should be Smith-deck. I'm going to go into my estimate here. There we go. And just like I converted an estimate into a payment request or into an invoice, I could do the same thing with change orders. Now, there are 2 types of change orders, basically. One is you estimated something and now pricing has changed, quantity has changed, the client has changed their mind about what they want. And then another change order is, hey, XYZ has been added into this project. I brought the plumber in. It's going to cost you $20,000 more to actually get this done. That's a completely fresh change order, meaning it's not based off of your initial estimation. Both options are available in Houzz Pro. So I'm going to start with creating your change order from an estimate. And what I want to do here is basically just grab this lighting over here. We had initially said 2 pieces of the exterior flood lighting. And what I actually want to do is change that to 4 pieces now because the client has changed their minds. So I just selected this. And then up here at the top, I'm just going to click on create change order. Now, when I'm creating a change order from something I've already estimated, a beautiful thing happens. And that's that I see the planned versus the updated. So I could see what I planned on my estimate, which was a quantity of 2. I could see the pricing. I can also set my markup here as well, by the way, which we haven't really shown. So you can set the default markup for everything. And I can show my updated pricing. So in this case, instead of quantity 2, they wanted quantity 4. Any change I make here gets highlighted. And again, I can't change the planned because that's what the client had already approved on that estimation. I can change anything under updated here. You can also add any notes, and this is important for your customer, as per our convo, we upped the lighting to 4 floodlights. Okay, and that's it. And from here, I can see all the breakdown. So I can see what the updated cost is. And that is minus the planned cost of 303, which makes the total due for the specific addition here, $364, again, because I added markup and I changed the quantity. There is one great feature about a change order, and that is a change order fee. Sometimes in your contracts, and if you don't do this, you should, you indicate that you have a change order fee for every change order you do. Change orders are annoying. Change orders can lose a lot of money for you. That's why we recommend you always creating change orders and getting your client approval from there, but also adding that fee so you can make some money at least off of the time that you spend off of this. Now, it's not making money off of nothing. It's making money off of the work that you're doing for this client. So I added that change order fee in there. And again, just like I did with my invoice and with my estimate, I'm just going to click on preview and share here. Now, again, I can send this over to my client and click on confirm and send. And again, we have the same, if you want to show the quantity and markup or just the markup breakdown, whatever it happens to be, you can do the same settings up here. And you'll see that the client in this case also sees any description that you put, any information about why you're actually sending this change order over. Again, same thing with the e-signature. They're going to be able to send to sign this directly from their email. So let me just click on confirm and send. And I want you to completely ignore what I'm doing now because Sivan's going to go over this in just a few minutes. And I'm going to just hop over into this client dashboard, which you're not supposed to see yet. So I can go into the change order I just created.
You could definitely talk about it, but
Okay. So
I'll dive into the specifics.
So while I reload this, do you mind talking about it?
What I'm going to dive into specifically is about your client's experience through this whole thing and the client dashboard and some best practices related to that. It's basically a centralized place where your client is able to access all of the documents that you've sent them throughout the course of the project, as well as all of the messages that you've sent. You also have the ability to unpublish things from their view. So we'll get into those specifics, but Helena is just here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the client dashboard. Again, this is a staging environment, so I can show you online payments. And because of that, I can't get an email sent to myself. So I'm going the weird way. So just a second.
No worries.
There we go. Okay, so what's loading now is a client dashboard. You could share this with your client. This is basically, they'll see all the information you have ongoing in the project. In this case, this is just a project where I'm sending a lot of change orders. So let's take a look at the newest one I created. I just want to make sure this one's it. You can see that they'll see their open tasks as well, which is great. And yes, this one should be it. So let's go into this change order that I just created. And again, this is the client view of the change order. Come on, staging. We could do this. Any questions while we wait for this to load?
Yeah, we wanted to originally do everything in production because staging, the environment is just a little bit unstable, but staging is where basically everything goes before it hits the floor, before you guys see it. But it also allows us to put in fake credit card information. So
correct. We were totally planning on doing this live on production, and then I started entering my credit card details, and I realized this would be recorded.
Yeah.
Anyway, so once I get that, once my client gets that change order, they have the ability to approve, and they also have this checkbox that basically says that they understand and agree that all money is due and payable at the time of signing this addendum to the agreement. And that only happens if you set your payment due date on the change order to be the same date it's sent, in this case, September 23rd. Otherwise, they will have a different due date and they will have time to make the payment. But in cases where the due date is set to today, meaning they have to sign and they have to pay, they're checking off this box, and again, that protects you. So I'm going to click approve as a client, do my little signature here, click save. And this is a two-step process. They must first approve the change order. This is critical for you as well, because they can't later on say, I didn't approve it. You'll have proof of everything. And they click on pay now. And again, this is if you accept online payments. And once they click on Pay Now, they'll get this beautiful UI. They can go through the checkout process. I'm just gonna fill this in and set an expiration date. And click on Confirm and Pay. And once that goes through, they will get this. You'll get an email letting you know that your client has paid. And you'll also be able to send that receipt to your client, and your client will also get this as a receipt as well. So a lot of things happen. You have been paid, which is the most important part of all this. And let me just hop back into what that looks like on the change order side of things. Again, this is on your side when you're in Houzz Pro. So I'm just going to click on change orders. You'll see that that change order has been fully paid. And then I can click on the invoice that is generated in the background. And you can actually send that to your client if necessary. And of course, you have that for your own needs. Any questions around change orders?
We had questions, Helena, in the chat, specifically related actually to archiving documents. And I was going to talk about, unpublishing, but can you quickly show how you can archive a document by like checking it and then clicking on archive right over there? And just to confirm, will that actually remove it from the client dashboard? The answer is yes. Once you archive it, it will remove it from your client's view. It will remove it from your view. You can always show, if you want to show after you archive this, you can always it's filter right over there.
I can't archive it, by the way. And this is an important point. We limit what you can archive, and the reason is you don't want to archive something that's already been approved. We are adding void functionality, so you can void something out and then remove it completely. But after something has been approved or paid, archiving it is problematic because you need that for your financials. But if something is draft or sent, then you can archive it, and it will be deleted. You cannot unarchive a document. You can unarchive projects, but not a document in its entirety, because when you delete it, you delete everything within.
And then do you want to also show then under the type, the filters right over there where it says the search and then you have the type, how you can filter down to show nothing's been archived, but you would be able to see.
Yeah, you would be able to,
there.
yes.
Yeah. We're going to get into the mobile app in just a minute, Brandon, so we'll go into your question. And then let's continue on here.
Okay, so I think that's actually it in terms of the additional things I wanted to show you here with documents, the estimates of payment requests, and the change orders. Sivan will go through timeline, how you're sharing files, and that client dashboard. I do want to hop over into the mobile app. And Sivan, how am I doing on time? I'm guessing better than Gili.
I'm sorry.
So
very inconveniently timed bite. You're doing great.
Sorry. So let me actually share my phone now. Am I not on Wi-Fi? 1 second. So what I'm going to be doing is showing you the mobile app that we have now. Now, I know a lot of us aren't on the road as we used to be pre-COVID. And the mobile app is definitely for those of you who are on the road, but there's a lot more than you can do on the mobile app. And this is especially, I don't know, I could tell you at least about myself, like some of the best email reading I do is right before I fall asleep on my phone in bed. So this is actually a great time to go through your leads as well and make sure that you're caught up. And the mobile app is available in the App Store, either on Android or on iPhone, and it's called Houzz Pro. Once you're in there, you can actually just log in using your same Houzz Pro credentials that you log into the web. If you don't remember your credential, that's okay. You can just you just need your email address, and you can sign in through a magic link, and that magic link will let you automatically sign into the system. So the best part about the mobile app is that you continue off basically where you left off on the phone. And again, this is great when you're in the field and somebody's asking for an estimate or a quick change order that you need to do. So let's take a look at what we're seeing here. At the top of this homepage, you're seeing your recent leads. So you can see these top 3 leads that I have. From there, I can go into see all leads. And everything Gili talked about when you went through the CRM system with him all exists here as well. So I could filter between my current, my won, and my inactive leads. I can go through all the different lead stages here and make sure to see every single one of my items, especially those that are for review. If I go into a lead, again, you can quickly change the lead stage from here. You can set a meeting just like you could. I did not integrate this, so just like you can on the web and see any lead details and information. You can hop into your messages. You'll get notifications for new messages received and of course new leads received directly on your mobile phone if you do have the Houzz Pro mobile app. I can quickly type here. The great part about this is that I could also grab something from my library. You're about to see a lot of pictures of dogs. And you could upload that and share that with your client directly. They'll get this into their email. They'll get it in their client dashboard, assuming this was a project. And of course, I now froze my phone by trying to upload this. 1 second. Let me come back. There we go. So we're hopping back in here. You can add any notes. We'll have the ability to add the call logs in here as well very shortly. For now, it's just your regular notes. Add and share files, and of course, view and create new estimates on your leads from here as well. Again, all the options for projects are also available. So I'm going to hit that same project that we were going through before. You could see all the existing messages we have, any notes and files that I shared, and of course, my estimates. If I wanted to create a new project or a new lead, I could do that directly from here. In this case, I'm going to quickly create another project. Let's say somebody called you from the field and they want to get an estimate out. Again, this is either a lead or a project, depending how you're running your business. So I'm going to call this Dennis kitchen remodel. And then I can choose the project type. Again, everything that I was doing on web, you could do here, and I'm just going to randomly choose. If you have a client, you can use them. You need to create a new client, you can do that from here as well. Click on save. And now if you remember that estimate that we created before, that template that we created, we could actually access it from here. So I went into the estimates tab. I'm going to click from template, and I saved that template as my 150 square foot kitchen, I believe. And here it is. I'm just going to select it. My estimate has now been created based on that template. You can now change quantities for your whatever you need to. Again, I'm just going to click on that and change the quantities. Make any edits to pricing. Set my markup here as well. Add any additional info. Again, that's the terms and conditions that we had on the web. Your memo, upload any files, and from here you can also preview and share it with your client. So really quick to do this on the road. I know that's typically not how you do things. Your typical work on estimates is much longer, but if you get a good template in place, at least you can give something super high level directly from your mobile phone. You can also create change orders on the fly, critical for when you are on the road and changes come up. So that's also available on your mobile app. And the last thing I actually want to go through here is the ability to create a floor plan. So you can actually do this from your lead or from your project or directly from this left side navigation through floor plans. What I'm going to do is go into my lead here, and in files, if I click on plus, I could actually create a new floor plan. You're about to see my very messy house, so I do apologize for that.
Okay, you're in quarantine with 2 youngsters.
Yes, and a puppy.
And a puppy.
Yes. So I'm just going to be measuring my room. I'm literally not moving off of my couch right now. So apologies that I'm not doing this well.
And by the way, everybody, we do have some more detailed videos if you want to follow up on this afterwards on how to do this.
And you can see that I can now add windows. Again, assuming that I would move and actually do this, that would work well. And then I click next, and you can see that I measured this relatively well considering I'm doing it from sitting position. I could see the full floor area, the full perimeter. If you're using something that's not feet, You can actually move to the geometric units here as well. And you can see on the bottom that this says this will be saved as a 3D floor plan and a PDF. So it will be saved as a PDF onto this lead under the files, and a 3D floor plan will also be created for you for access on desktop. So I'm just going to click done here, give it a name, living room. Click on save here. And it's while it's saving that floor plan for me, it's also creating a 3D version, of course. And it's also creating a 3D version that is available on web and will also soon be available on the mobile app. So you can see that in 3D. You can share that with your client in 3D as well. So really cool functionality. And if we do have time, we will go through the visual tools as well. So let's just go back here for a second. And make sure we covered everything off of the mobile app. We went through leads, we went through projects. We didn't go through clients anywhere, but I just want to mention that we do have a list of all your clients, basically all your contacts. You can manage them from here. You can add additional ones. These are valid for both your projects and your leads, and they are available both on web and in your mobile app. Going into a client here will give me easy access to call them, to send them an email, and to see any projects that are related to them as well. Last but not least is your ability to contact support wherever you are, whether that's on mobile or on the desktop tool. Just click on this and you can send an email directly to client support and get any issue that you have handled. So that's our mobile app. We have a ton of new functionality being added into our mobile app all the time. Those 3D floor plans are coming really soon. We'll also have additional availability in terms of other functionality that we have on web inside the mobile app as well as geolocation and stopwatches and time tracking and a lot of other great things that are coming in the future. Questions around the mobile app?
Yeah, we do have some questions. So a couple questions come in about the file format, the 3D floor plan. So I believe that the file format that's automatically saved, is it a PDF?
It is a PDF, yes.
Yeah. So it's a PDF, but like Helena mentioned, the 3D floor plan that you create, that room measurement on mobile app, is also accessible on your desktop of Houzz Pro, where you can do even more additional 3D items, adding furniture and furnishings and additional windows, etc. Also on the app, Brandon was asking about adjusting items for estimates he's created. And he said he can't seem to adjust or change them on the tablet. I'm wondering, Brandon, if you have an approved estimate, at which point that estimate is locked. If you do have a draft estimate, that is usually where you're able to update the quantities and the line items themselves. But if you have an estimate that's, I believe, also been sent, it's locked at that point.
No, if it's sent, you can still edit it. But if it has been approved, then you won't be able to. But if I go into a draft estimate here, for example, you should be able to edit it. And I can see, yeah, you should be able to edit everything here just by clicking in. And if it's not working for you, then please let us know.
Okay, cool. So Brandon, if it's not working for you, let us know. If you knew that you said it's yeah, okay, cool. Great. So, and then I also did include some links to the Help Center for more detailed articles on how to use the room measurement tool on the mobile app, as well as how to use the 3D floor planner tool on desktop. So hopefully you guys can take advantage of that. And again, to remind you, all of these articles are available readily from within Houzz Pro. And you can always access our Help Center by simply looking on the bottom right-hand corner where it says need help. You can always click into there and access all of our Help Center right over here. So you could search over here at the top, for example, 3D, and see all of the different articles related to our 3D tools. So, and you'll see it right over here when it loads. There you go. So those are actually the two exact articles that I sent. So just a heads up on that functionality. Will the measure tool, Adam's asking, will the measure tool give you quantities like square footage of drywall, etc.?
Great question. So the measure tool won't. The 3D floor plan still won't, but we are working towards getting that in there. In fact, we're working on having the 3D floor plan actually help you build out an estimate. So you will need all that information of square footage. So that is in the plans.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool.
There's just one last sneak peek I want to give you guys, and then I'll hand you over to Sivan. And that is POs. So we're currently working on releasing POs to all of you. That actually brings in the vendor side of things. If I showed you estimates and invoices and change orders, that's all client facing. We're now introducing the selling part of it and all the, or I should say the purchasing part of it, and all that good vendor stuff, whether that's subcontractors, specific vendors that you're working with to buy materials. You will be able to create your purchase orders, again, either from an invoice or an estimate or creating purchase orders from scratch. And then you'll really be able to see your money in versus money out and do all your profitability directly through Houzz Pro. I'm just going to show you an example test purchase order that I have here. Again, this is still in development. It's not, it's a little wonky, so disregard that. This should be out in about a month or so. We will also be adding additional functionality into other documents. You could see that we have these nice detailed information that we will be moving over into the other documents that you've seen today, like estimates and invoices. So you could actually add items into your purchase order, again, either from your library or create them from scratch. Again, I said this is wonky for now. So let me just grab something here. Of course, I have to grab something from Uri's stuff. Let me just close this out. There we go. And then once I have that in, I can add my description. I can add a side mark in here as well. And this is the description, again, that's going to the vendor. So if you're buying product or if you're getting a subcontractor in here, any information that you have on the specific line item is important. A side mark here helps as well. You'll have the price, you'll have the quantity, any shipping pricing that you have or that's relevant here. Again, not for subcontractors, yes, for vendors. Ship dates, whether it's taxable or not. And then, of course, you have the ability to actually track your order. And again, if you're buying something from a vendor, then you're waiting for your order, it's back ordered, like 100 different things can happen. Is it delivered, which we're going to fix before this is released. And you'll also be able to create your own custom tracking here as well. All this plus reporting is going to be coming out so you could really do your full, again, profitability through Houzz Pro. Really looking forward to it, and I'm excited that we're in the works already with this enough that I could show it on our academy today.